Hi, welcome back. So let's talk ASCII. Now the build of the Apple II version of DungeonRaider is almost ready to be released. All of the levels are done. There's 100 levels, which is good. Now I'm doing the final touches to it and realised that the map tiles, some of them are require some sort of on-the-fly modification. So when it loads in the level, it translates one tile type to another. The reason for that is the Apple doesn't have the same ASCII set as PCs, and obviously the C64 is pesky, it's not even ASCII, so I need some way of translating. Anyway, so if I show you what the differences are, I've got a test application here where I use it to test various things. Just an easier sort of test harness. So if I show the ASCII table on the 64, oops. Dangers of live demos. Hang on. Let's just run that again, shall we? I'll show you the ASCII table on the Apple. Doesn't work either. What the hell? Oh dear. One moment, please. So there's the ASCII table on the Apple. Here's the ASCII table on C64. So there are obvious differences. So in this sort of standard makeup of this game, I was using a standard set of characters to do various things, and for the most part that was fine because they were the same across different platforms. But water is different. So water should be in that position there in ASCII. It should be a little tilde wiggly line, but it's actually a power symbol on the Apple. So that's on position 126. 126 here is a little chevron, a little hash symbol. So that's annoying. So I need ways of translating it. So what I've done is in this particular case, I've taken water to be a double quote, which is not ideal, but it's better than nothing. The other one that I'm having to translate is the pipe, is the vertical line. So there's a vertical line on Apple is actually converted to a colon, which is not ideal. I was using colon for a while, and then I decided to use an uppercase I. Again, not ideal, but it's better than nothing. So normally that would sit in here, but you can see it, sorry, in here. But that is actually a slash, so that's not great. If you compare that with this, obviously that is a pound sign. So there needs to be ways of translating one to the other. So I've approached that in two ways. I have a definition here with the Apple and Commodore, and there are what I've called the base water and the base vertical. So that's the input, and that's what it kind of gets translated into. So that's the same for both of these, but there'll probably be better ones. If we take water, for example, the water symbol gets translated to a double quote. Again, not ideal, better than nothing. Also, there are differences on the some of the intro files, some of the text files that are used for display. So the help screen is like this, and that's the normal baseline help screen. So you can see here the tree is fine. Water is the tilde. Okay, so when that gets displayed on the Apple, it was displaying it as a tree, which is not great. So what I've done is created a Apple specific version for the for that, and so you have APH. So AP is Apple, the Atari version will be AT, Commodore version will be C, and so by default, if there's none of these machines, it will just default to this and spit those out as normal. If not, then it will go to the specific version. So this will be the Commodore version of help, the Apple version of help. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a weird thing. I wanted to make sure that the baseline respected sort of standard ASCII, and on the fly it'll adapt this. Well, it'll do it on compile time and on the fly, because it's compile time when it loads in the specific Apple version of this help screen, but in the the function that loads the map. It also does some translations. I haven't written those all out yet, but it will do those translations on the fly, and then it will use these sort of points to these codes in the rest of the code to say, okay, well, this is actually what you meant for this particular character. So yeah, anyway, that's just a brief heads up. So we're getting close now. 100 levels done, as I say, which is cool. I've got to go through some play testing, obviously, on that. Now, interestingly, maybe I shouldn't say this, but there is actually a cheat function. And when you enable cheats, you can use the number keys to give yourself more health or go to the next level or whatever, which is quite cool. Obviously, when I'm releasing this, that cheat function will not be enabled. It physically won't be in the code. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a cheat version out there. You never know. I could be persuaded. But I don't want that to be, easily there, like whatever. It just is there because people are cheating. What's the point? Yeah, I guess the key thing is to understand how difficult the game is going to be. So I got to play test this extensively before I release it. The mapping Python program does give me hints as to how difficult or easy a level is, telling me that there's low food to NPC ratio, as I've mentioned before. But there are some levels that I've set to be hard on purpose. So that as you get into the later levels, you get more NPCs, less food, whatever. There's the ratio is different to try and increase the difficulty as you go on. The reason for that is obviously to make the game more interesting, but there is another feature added, which is experience. So as your experience grows and you dispatch monsters, your experience level increases, and at each stage it will give you a attack bonus. So you can still attack an NPC and get 0, but that's less and less likely, and you can in fact have do much more damage as you go on. So we're getting close to release, and the next stage, as I say, is to play test. If anyone's interested in helping me play test, please reach out, and I'm sure we can sort something out. The physical version of it obviously will be a paid thing, as I've got to cover my costs. It's not really so much about making money on this. It's really to scratch that itch I've had for a long time. And sounds horrible. Anyway, it's not horrible. It's just something I've wanted to do for a long time, to actually release a boxed game. So that is the idea. So in this beta testing phase, hopefully we can iron out the software and the levels and configuration and what have you, and then post that, start releasing the game proper, probably on eBay and Etsy, and we'll see how it goes. Great stuff. See you next time. Cheers.